If you haven't started on StockTrak yet, it's okay, because this is kind of a long-term project. Again, it's for extra credit. I will announce this week how much extra credit it's going to be worth. I'm guessing somewhere in the 3 to 5% of your grade. And I will also, I'm working on how to do these quizzes, because we have our first quiz, I believe, next Wednesday. Because I collected all the links to people's ebooks and stuff. So I'm gonna look in your inbox either tonight or tomorrow morning for an announcement on how we're going to do the quizzes, and then we can talk about that more Wednesday after I do the announcement. So this is extra credit project. It's extra credit because it's not part of the normal material that we have in terms of managerial finance, but since most of you aren't finance majors, I think it's worth at least exposing you to what it means to buy and sell stocks on the stock market, because a lot of people talk about it, and most of you will probably one way or another be affected by the stock market, because if you save up money over time, either in a retirement account or a mutual fund, you will in some way be affected by what happens in the stock market. Maybe some of you want to invest directly and buy and sell on your own and make decisions about what stocks to invest in, what not to invest in. But even if you just do mutual funds, it's still going to help you to understand what's going on if you can be exposed to this a little. So I think it's worth having some exposure to it. So you see, it's not as big and scary as you might think. It's just, it's just whether or not you want to spend your time doing it. That's really what it comes down to. So here's StockTrak, and this is what it looks like when you log in. So I just want to show you a few things. If you go to the dashboard right here, and you go to assignment right here, this is what comes up. And this is the list of all the things you need to do to be eligible for the extra credit. So you'll see it's a number of articles to read. And you can also see that it'll keep track of what you've done, because at the end of the semester, I'm just going to go on here and I'm going to pull down the data to see what percentage of the work you completed, and then I will give you that percentage toward the extra credit. So a bunch of articles for reading. And if you see yourself like not getting credit for something, usually it means that maybe you just try to click on the article and go right to the end or something without really reading it, because it does keep track to make sure you've gone through the whole page. So there might be some questions. Make sure you answer the questions. For videos, make sure you watch the video to the end. That's the main thing. And then the actual trading, I don't think it's too onerous. You basically have to do about 10 trades on stocks, and you have to do about 5 trades on mutual funds. Let's go ahead and look at 2 of those. So I'm going to go up here, and you see right here where it says trading. So here is where I can buy and sell stocks. I'm going to click on that. And let's say I want to buy a stock. Now, the first thing you'll notice here is that the stocks, it asks you for a symbol, right? So when you buy and sell stocks, you do it on a ticker symbol. And those ticker symbols are some abbreviation for the company. Let's say we want to buy some Apple. Now the nice thing is you can type in the company name and it'll give you kind of a search output for companies with similar words in their name. And so I wanted to buy some, Apple computer. And so it's pretty clear here. It's Apple Incorporated, and its ticker symbol is AAPL. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on that. I was looking at the most common stocks people have bought, and I think it's usually Apple, at least for students, Apple, Tesla, Google, Amazon, and maybe it was T-Mobile. I saw a number of students were buying. So the next thing is we have to decide how much we want to buy. Now, when you buy a share of a stock, you don't say how many dollars you want to buy. You typically say how many shares you want to buy, and then you have to look at the price per share to figure out how much that's going to be. And I will say that is changing right now over the last year or so, that some stockbrokers are making it so you can buy fractions of shares, so that then you can say, I only want to buy $100 worth of Apple. That's getting easier to do, and I'm guessing as over the next couple of years, most stockbrokers will allow that, and it'll be more and more common. But right now on this stock market simulator, StockTrak, you can't do that. So it's just an FYI that over time, you'll probably see that changing. Now look at this. This number right here, it shows the last price of Apple. So let's say I wanted to buy, I don't know, let's say I wanted to buy $10,000 worth of Apple, because you guys have $1 million in your account. So I wouldn't be too bashful and buy just like $500. You're going to have to buy sizable investments. So if I want to buy, let's say 10,000 in Apple, how many shares do I have to buy? If I look at it, that's going to be somewhere around, what, 60 shares? Now if I plug it in, let's say I just plug in 60 shares, down here it'll give you an estimated total. So that's kind of helpful. So, okay, I need a little bit more. So let's say 75 shares. There we go. That's getting close to 10,000. So that looks pretty good. So we got to buy Apple stock, 75 shares. This order type here, I would say for our purposes, just leave it at market. You can go ahead and research it a little bit more, and some of those articles you're going to read and videos you're going to watch, they'll talk about it a little, but basically, if you're familiar with eBay, in eBay you can buy something and it has a button that's called Buy Me Now, and that's where you just take the latest price. And that market order is kind of like a Buy Me Now button in eBay. A limit buy is where you want to place a bid. Now the thing with placing a bid is you may or may not get that order, right? And so with a limit buy, the same thing could happen here as it happens on eBay, because someone else could bid a higher number in the stock market and you'll never get that stock. Okay, so that's just something to realize. And for the purposes of the game, I think it's fine if you just do market orders, but just to let you know that exists. Now, I'm not going to talk about stop orders, trailing stop orders. Some of these are automatic orders. They're like safety orders. And what I mean by that is a lot of people feel that when they buy a stock, they would like to have an order that automatically sells that stock if the stock ever drops by a certain amount, like 10%. So think about that. If you had $1 million stock portfolio back in March, right, and then you had trailing stop orders on all your stocks, it basically would have meant that when the stocks dropped 10%, all these sell orders for everything you own would automatically go out onto the market and all your shares would be sold. It doesn't guarantee you getting the price that you set of when to sell it, because as the stock market's dropping and everybody's selling, you have to wait until someone says, yes, I'll buy from you. And so the prices could keep coming down before you're able to sell it. So it's not a guarantee that you'll be able to sell it and at what price you sell it, but it just means that your stockbroker will send out an order and try to sell it for you as soon as possible. So a lot of people like to set those to automatically sell their stocks, but you know, obviously it depends on the size of your portfolio. If you're Warren Buffett, one of the biggest investors there is in the U.S. market, obviously he can't. It's difficult for him to do that because everybody watches what he buys and sells, and so he has to be careful. So I'm going to do a market order here, and then the next step is to hit this preview button down here at the bottom. So I hit preview, and now you can see here's the order. There's a commission of $5. So most stockbrokers charge a small commission or a fee to place a trade. A few don't, but most of them do. And then I'm just going to confirm the order by hitting this button right here. And it says success. It will be processed at the next market open. And so hopefully by tomorrow morning it'll go through. Hey, does anybody have any questions? Sorry, my chat thing keeps disappearing. The question is, I see, can we trade options? Yes, you can trade options, but you know, options are going to be a little more confusing than buying shares of stock and mutual funds. So go ahead and play around with it, and just realize options are, you know, you can get into an option for a very small amount of money compared to what it would cost to buy a share of stock. So let me give you an example. Let's say you wanted to buy some Tesla stock, okay, and a share of Tesla. Let's see what Tesla is selling for right now. So here's Tesla, and it looks like it's selling for about $500 a share, right? So you could spend $500 and buy one share of Tesla, but you could spend, you know, $5, a much smaller amount, and you have the right to buy, you might have the right to buy 100 shares at a certain price level. And what that means is, to make a long story short, because I don't want to go into detail on options, is that you pay a small premium, and what you do is you get the right to buy something at a certain price. And if that price never happens, if the stock price stays below that certain amount, the premium that you paid basically expires and becomes worthless. You don't get that money back. So if you bought $500 in options and the price never went up, you lose all the $500. Okay, but if the price goes above a certain amount, you might end up making double. Maybe you make $1,000 or $2,000. So options have what we call a lot of leverage built in, meaning you can basically lose everything or double, triple your money. Okay, that's if you use options to kind of speculate, just make money. Options can also be used as a form of protection, insurance, if you will, on people who already own shares of stock. So just you can do it, and let me show you. if you go to trading, and right here, you'll see options. Go ahead and check it out and play around with it a little. And if there's some more information, you can also look in the learning part right here, and they'll have some information about what are options right here. So go ahead and check that out, play around with it. And if you lose a lot of money, don't say I didn't tell you so. Where do you see the stocks you purchased? That's a good question. So let me go to my portfolio right here, and then click on open positions. So with a stock brokerage account, we call it open positions, things that your position is what you own, basically. And so open positions are things you currently own. So for me, I think the last time we met, I may have bought some Apple stock, and so that's why you see Apple stock here. When I set up this game, I asked the company StockTrak to pre-populate everyone's portfolio with some stocks so they could practice selling too, but it doesn't look like that happened. So, so just remember, if you want to sell something, you're going to have to buy it first. Do you personally trade stocks, or do you have a preferred way of working your money like mutual funds? Yes, I do both. Mostly mutual funds, because it is pretty difficult to do better than the S&P 500 index fund. But yes, I did buy some. What did I buy? Amazon, Google, back in April when the stock market went down. I bought a bunch of stocks. So, but in general, long term, personally, I've put more into exchange traded funds, mutual funds. The next question is, you go to course materials, you will see StockTrak Extra Credit Game Project in there. Yeah, if you go to our course materials right here, and I put it right here, and this gives you all the information on how to sign up for the game. I know it's a lot of writing, but just trust me, if you just follow the directions step by step, it shouldn't be a problem. And you will have to set up a brand new account. You can't just use your existing Horizon email account. This is a separate company. They're not attached to the university. We do pay them to have a separate web page just for our school that all our professors use, and that's why when you go to their website, you see the Cal State East Bay logo right here. It's because we set up our own private page just for our classes, and they kind of give us a quantity discount, and then it's kind of free for you guys, because normally finance students have to pay for this, but we got it, so it's pretty good. A number of professors use it, and so here are the directions on how to get an account. I will say this, I think over the years they put more advertising on here, and you may still get some marketing emails. So if you want to just use some throwaway email account, that's fine with me. The main thing for me is just when you put in your name, I just need to be able to recognize who you are so that when I go to Blackboard, I can give you points. So if you just give them some kind of whatever email address, I would give them a minimum amount of personal information as possible, because they do have some marketing. I apologize for that.